Hello, everyone. Oops. That's a goofball mistake. Oop. Here we go. Hello. How goes it today, chat? We are back. It's a Friday. Very exciting. We are going to finish painting Asajj today. Jason will be back here momentarily, I imagine. Haven't heard anything about him missing today. What's up, Charles? How you doing? How's the weather out there? What am I looking for? I'm looking for neutral gray? Yeah. Neutral gray. I'm gonna paint some of this metallic on her lightsabers, the hilts, and her little waist thing right here. Started with some neutral gray. Punisher, what's up, man? How's it going? Good today, not so much last night. You had marble-sized hail? Ugh. That's gross. What were you up at the game store playing? Let me actually punch in real quick. War Machine? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. You know. Oh. Oh. Nope. Well, looks like we need to figure out a punch in for my camera. Never mind. We're doing this normal status. That shouldn't be too bad. See that all right? What were you playing in War Machine? Hail in June does not compute. I don't know. I'm not super familiar with the weather patterns in Michigan. Is it uncommon for hail that late in the year? Yeah. Almost got these first layers. There we go. All the weird ones. All right, cool. We're gonna bring this up a little bit. Hello, Matt Montador in the Italian charter. That's cool. Punisher, I have no idea how that works in Michigan. You can't even look out the window without dripping sweat. Here, that's kind of gross. Sounds like not the kind of weather to be living around. Not that I can say anything because I live in freaking Arizona. It is hot here, chat. And it's getting hotter. What will I do? How will I survive? going to be like 110 degrees outside. I am not excited for that. What's up, Paint Liquor? How's it going? Dower, how's it going? It has not broken 110 for the year. It's gotten close a couple of times, but it is on the schedule for next week. It's looking like the temperature is going to hit 110 sometime in the next week or two. But it hasn't really dropped much below 100 in the last couple of weeks. Yeah, Dower, it's not that bad. What's up, Mo? Sunscreen and a fan, that's how. How you doing, Mo? Well, hello. Look, you kid.
Hi.
Man's got the pompadour going on.
Oh my god.
What a day.
Rats.
Rats? Okay. We'll see you in a minute. That was fast.
Well, I set it right outside the door.
Oh.
So that I wouldn't forget it.
I was like,
I put it right on the
really
shelves.
Fast.
Yeah, I put it on the shelves right outside the door. So, hey, look, I won't forget it if I put it here.
Hey. He's got
It turns out I forgot it. Like I did forget it. How do I do this? I need to
hot water?
go microwave some water. Like, we don't have a hot water heater. I will go microwave some water. Throw these in there. I shall return.
Okay. We will see you momentarily.
Again. I'll be back, I swear.
Brad Pitt, you mean Grizzly Adams? He's threatening us again. No, that's just his way of being nice. Just adding a little bit of white blue to this neutral gray for these highlights. Thinning it out a bit so I can get some nice smooth ones. What's wrong with the B1s? What do you mean? Oh yeah, they're kind of a nightmare to build. Paint Liquor. They're real bad. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're tons of parts and they're really fiddly. And you have to build 6 of them. That's the annoying part. It's like building 1B1, not the end of the world. But you're like, this one unit requires me to build 6 of them. You're just like, okay. Guess I'll be here for 45 minutes to an hour. It really is a pain in the butt, I have to admit. All right, he's on his way back, chat. We gotta stop saying mean things now.
What? What did you do?
Nothing.
What did you do? That
Nothing.
was the face of you doing something.
I didn't do anything.
That was the face of you doing something, and I was like, what did I do?
Chat would tell you if I did anything.
Ow!
Well, what? But
Ow!
that's hot water. What are you doing?
Well,
Here, pliers.
I need the things. Not the pliers. Give me the forceps.
Oh, there you go. That's better. Hold on. Put this on full screen. I want to watch this.
I'm like, ow! Put it. Ow!
Because you can't see what he's doing. He went and microwaved water to make it boil, basically.
I got it very hot, by the way.
And then decided to just stick his fingers in it to try and get these. Oh, that does not look like it's working very well.
Very hot. I mean, who the hell does this?
Yeah, I know.
It's actually working.
It's actually working.
I mean, it's better than it was without.
Oh, for sure.
Ow!
I love that you're just screaming, and you're not even on camera. Nobody can see what you're doing.
Well, I didn't want him to see me be a buffoon.
I mean, we can hear you. That's just as bad.
But I could be joking.
No.
Nobody knows.
No.
I didn't really do anything silly.
No.
Like dip my hand in boiling water
Jason, but no.
3 times?
No.
Or 4 times, maybe. I think it might have been 4.
It was at least 4.
I'm not a smart man.
Well, you are the pretty one, at least.
I am the pretty one. That's the only reason I'm here, is to keep the fashion moving.
Keep the fashion moving.
Keep fashion and sexiness at the forefront at Monument Hobbies.
Oh my gosh.
I am the dream that everyone wishes to realize. And I'm okay being that. I'm okay being the sex pot and the one that you what's it called?
Yes, go ahead.
When they say that you're just like when you post like a chick in a bikini to sell a car, you're just
eye candy?
Eye candy. I'm just the eye candy. It's okay. I'll take one for the team.
Well, okay. You do that. Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
I won't come back 20 years from now and be like, they used me. They objectification. That's what I was going for. They objectified me. They just used me for my body.
If you're choosing this, then aren't you objectifying yourself? If you're choosing this, then aren't you objectifying yourself?
So that kind of logic doesn't hold up in court.
I mean, I'm not doing this to you.
They don't like the
truth.
truth. You guys are doing this to me.
No, that's not true.
It is.
I have proof.
Proof of what? You have
that
no
you're
proof.
Doing it to yourself.
You lies.
No lies here. Nothing but the truth.
Chat, lying liars who lie.
Hey, look, I haven't been here long enough to be branded a liar yet.
Yeah, you are. Day 1. Jesus.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Ooh, look at that.
I am no liar. I am the anti-liar.
The anti-liar?
Thanks for the follow, Kaio.
He's like, what did I walk into?
Mo, if you're the eye candy, it's pretty sour. Oh my goodness, Mo. Woo! That was too good.
Hey, somebody likes us.
You really got him with that one. That's whoo. That's a premium quality joke right there.
Good.
Lemon heads personified. You know what? I'm gonna say this one's your fault.
Something friends like these.
I'm just saying, this is your fault.
My fault?
Yep.
What? Because I decided to start a stream 7 years ago?
You cultivated the herd.
Mm.
The logic you
Again,
can't argue
technically Jen's fault.
Well, no. This one you can't put on Jen.
Sure can. Why not? Everything. She knew me then. She was there. Jen's been there since the beginning. Jen was there when I streamed video games.
think
she'd always be like, "Why do you play these games if you hate them so much?"
I think we need Jen to weigh in here.
I don't know if you want that. Jen's not exactly in the best mood today.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Sorry, Jen. I hope your day improves. Apologize, my ray of sunshine hasn't quite reached your desk.
You have to walk it over there.
Okay. I'll walk it over there after. We'll see if she gets angry at me or not. Hopefully not.
I did that.
I'd be bummed.
I has this guy.
You has the guy that is that.
Huh. Well, that happened.
Why are you breaking all your models?
Well,
Well,
it's a
what?
stress test. I was stress testing it.
Okay. I guess that's the thing you can do.
We'll have him pointing the las cannon right to the sky.
Yeah, that seems useful. You shooting anything up there these days?
He's freaking big.
Yeah, those models are gigantic.
Yeah, but I really like it with the old arms on it instead of the stupid new ones. It actually does feel like the true scale box dread that it's supposed to be.
But with legs instead of stubby toes. Which
Well,
works for me.
You're going to hate it because I'm about to cut the legs down.
That's funny.
May not cut the legs down. I don't really know how. Like, looking at it, it's like it doesn't really give you a lot of places you could alter. I might just be stuck with it how it is.
Great, like just like that. You can get some old Dreadnought legs, and you can just swap them.
Well, they're obviously not big enough.
I know that's the best part, because then you'd have a big old Dread with some stubby little legs on it.
I was wondering if there was ever a time where I liked you, and then I was like, no, probably not.
Mike, how's it going?
I could just pop
Dread
the
baby
foot
legs.
off, and by moving the foot up quite a bit, we could maybe get it to work. It might be more work than it's really worth. Am I mad at this look? Not as mad as I thought I'd be. Yeah, unfortunately, I think it would be a lot of work for no real reward.
Yeah, because it looks awesome like that.
Can I get my knife back, please?
Did I take
Stole
your
my
knife?
knife.
There's 2 knives in there. You said there was 2?
Yeah. Those, please.
Who done gone absconded with mine?
Probably in your office for building models.
I brought my own the other day.
Here we go, chat. There's probably like another one here. Or Gabe or Chris grabbed it, or 50 million. I don't know.
Darn thieves.
I don't know.
The darn thieves.
If knives are ever out of stock, it's because everybody here took one every day of the week. I walk through this office and they're just like laying around. People have used them to open a box. Like, I'm glad I'm funding us having razor knives that could be $4 from Home Depot.
Don't we have box cutters? Like actual box cutters?
But not anymore. Since we released this knife, everybody likes it better than everything else. So
Box cutters are great. Like the actual box cutters, not like.
how are we doing, chat? Friday.
I think chat's doing great. They've been very talkative today.
What's everybody doing with their experience points for making it through this last week? What are you leveling up? I need to level up endurance.
I think your endurance is doing pretty good so far.
I am blasted. No stamina. If I walk into a boss fight right now, it's over. No chance.
Highly recommend not playing your ARPG. This wouldn't want to have you run into a boss fight and die.
Could you place the hip to shin? You need the knee pads, and you do want the knees. The old Dread still had knees. They just were not articulated, so they were always just straight. My initial thought was that I would carve more here off the thigh, like carve that area. But looking at it, I'm only going to gain, I don't know, maybe 3/16, maybe 2 millimeter if I do that. And that's going to be a lot of work to carve that curve correctly, right? I don't mind doing it. It means we also lose this thing, which causes a little bit of problem. So it kind of makes that off limits. There's not a ton to be gained here, at least on this particular model, because this is an eBay rescue, but this guy's got the torso way down over the crotch anyway, so that helps with height. So this particular model isn't as bad because of that, right? You can see how far the front is down because you got this whole pivot point that it's supposed to sit on. So he's got it really rotated down, which makes the legs appear a little bit shorter when you're looking at the torso. This leg is bent really deep, so that, of course, shortens it up. This one's the only problem, and I can hide that with terrain or something. My other thought was that I would cut out all this garbage here, right? Get rid of the ankle and shove the foot up, because it still has, like the old Dread, it still has the place for all the toes to go, right? That's all perfectly aligned to where if you just cut all this stuff out, you gain quite a bit. I'd gain nearly 1/4 of an inch there. That was my initial thought. But that appears to be something I would have needed to have done, like building the model from scratch. I don't think I can do it to the eBay one.
I do really like that new. Looks really cool.
The Redemptor, just in general?
Yeah. I like the size. Like,
I just don't like the fact that it has the bigger, lanky legs. I really thought that the shorter, stubby legs made the Dreadnought. This big, top-heavy box trundling around was kind of everything a Dreadnought was. The Contemptor gave us, more human proportion, and it did it in a way that I thought was pretty cool.
mm-hmm.
I like the Contemptor Dread, but I don't think we needed this Dread to get human proportions. I think that the boxy vehicular proportions of it were really cool.
Starting the lightsabers. Lightsaber parts.
On Asajj.
Yeah, it's gonna add a lot of color, which is
What color is her lightsabers?
red. You bad.
Because she's a bad guy.
Yeah. Punisher. It's neat that he has 2 swords and no hands. Because, the swords.
Huh?
Swords on the front of the thing.
On this guy?
Yeah. 2 swords, no hands. No hands to wield them.
These are how we remember him. The idiots that put together models, and I'm going to say idiots. Like, my God, eBay. Like, why would you leave so much sprue connected on here? What the hell? Especially when you're trying to do, like, a cool conversion. I mean, it's not a conversion, really. You're just adding bits on, but Jesus. These swords have still got like the raw sprue connects on them. Look at that. What's wrong with this? Clean your models, guys. Clean your models.
Yep, especially if you're going to sell them on eBay after you're done with them.
If you're over 6 or 8 years old, clean your models. If you're under, have fun. Do whatever you want. But if you're over, like, maybe we'll call it 10 years old, you should be able to clean your models. Have some self-respect. Even makes your unpainted models look better. And my buddy was always like, oh, don't tell him that, because then I don't get cheap models on eBay.
Yeah, seriously.
I'm like, wait. Is the goal to get cheap models on eBay, or is the goal to have nice models? I would rather pay like $10 extra to make sure that I didn't have to do all this crap when I get a model.
Cheap models on eBay, though.
It is cheap models on eBay.
Hard to beat.
I get it.
Hard to beat.
I get it.
It's
11-year-olds are sweating. All the 11-year-olds are sweating. Wait a minute. Where do I fall in this whole thing? My time is over. I have to grow up.
Oh, yes, you do. Comes time. Life. I realize.
The age of modeling adulthood is like 11. Let's just throw it out there.
Yep.
Time to put away your sloppy glue. Clean your mold lines. Prep your model correctly. 11. This thing's not even glued on. Oh, they left that hinge so that you could open it. You know what? You know what, though?
You gonna leave it open?
That's actually cooler.
With it open?
Well, if I could get this thing off. Maybe like that. Taking that
Is there a
off
hinge on the
leaves-
top? Top part?
That leaves us with... Is there a hinge on the top? No, well, kind of, sort of. Not really. It just kind of squeezes back in the side things. I think that looks better. I think it's made to where you can kind of do this. If the swords weren't there. You
Yeah,
know,
that
open
would
it
be
up.
cool.
Open it up and see the sarcophagus, but that's stupid. I just like the crux terminatus on the sarcophagus a lot better than just the silly chest piece. Because that's what the old dread was.
That's what the old
right?
ones had.
That's the
Yep.
old dreadnought. Right there. So it's these pieces that I kind of don't care about.
Rip it off.
Could pop that off.
But off, I dare you.
Then I got to paint all those hoses.
Do. Yes, you do.
Then I got to paint all that stuff.
Or
I don't know.
you could paint all the hoses and put the top part on.
Yeah, I think that it makes sense to paint this separately anyway.
Yep. I think so too. Alright. Putting the yellow on the lightsabers. The yellow on the lightsaber. Step 1. Oop. I'm gonna break.
Your first pot of liquid green stuff. Don't ever give anybody liquid green stuff, especially not young modelers. That stuff's the worst. Teach them to make, like, Knead-A-Tight white. Teach them epoxy putty. Or just give them regular green stuff. It was so funny, because I didn't have anybody, my bio dad built models. I remember that. But he was never around. So he wasn't like somebody that I got to use as a sounding board for learning to do modeling. I kind of got into it because he always had cool stuff. He was always building airplanes and things like that. So good on him for that. But I didn't have anybody that really did this stuff. So I just kind of had to figure it out. No internet, the Stone Age, the before times. But there was always like, I was always like looking at the pictures and realizing what made mine look different was that I was sloppy model builder. Glued stuff on, big deformities in the plastic because of the glue. Because back in the day you had like plastic glue that melted things together. It still does, but now you can have like thinner versions of it. Back in the day it was kind of thick. So it melted things and got all over every surface. It didn't take me long to be like, all right, you know what'll make my models look a bit better? Is if I put them together right. It was hard learning that kind of patience. It's why I don't really enjoy building models much. Because from a very early age, I was like, you gotta do it right.
What the heck? How did that happen?
What's the matter?
Got like some weird schmutz on it.
Schmutz. I mean, you did that with Dooku too. It seems like a regular occurrence over there.
I don't know what's going on. It's weird.
T. Schmidt, what's going on, man?
T. Schmidt, welcome to the chat. Hello.
Tester's model cement. Yeah, exactly. It was very, very thick. That's all we had. I mean, there might have been other stuff, but that was all I had. You could get it in the deal that had like the little applicator, or in that weird aluminum toothpaste tube. Remember that one that would always break? And glue would start seeping out a crease in the tube as you rolled it up so that you could get the rest of the glue out of the bottle or out of the tube.
Sounds awful.
It was so bad. It would crack, glue would get everywhere. Parents would be like, hey, why are the table mats stuck to the table? No idea.
Not
Wasn't
my
me.
fault.
Not it.
They melted there.
Not it.
It was like 110 degrees outside the other day.
Turns out I was it. Turns out that was my fault.
They don't have to know that. They don't have to know anything.
It's fun to go back and have adult conversations with your parents. Like I tell my mom, hey, you remember that thing? Yeah, that was me. He's like, dang it, I knew it all along. Remember that time I told you I was going to Timmy's to hang out for the weekend? Yeah, we kind of ran away to Arkansas.
What? You did what? My goodness, transparent white is amazing.
You scored a bunch of extra work this week, so you have you have a Questoris Knight sitting next to you? You mean when you say scored extra work, like
Overtime?
Commissions? Boy, this is horrible with the sprue. I wasn't really even looking for that. I assume people know how to build models, so I don't look for that.
Nah.
And then I see it, and now you see it everywhere.
Made an incorrect assumption there.
Well,
Nobody knows
it's
how to build
the
models.
it's a shame because you create this in the way that GW does their games.
Yep.
Right? You make something that's good for a minute and then not, and you eventually get people who didn't migrate to the hobby for anything hobby related, they came here to play games, that they kind of give up on spending a lot of time on the models because the models are always having to be changed. And I think that's a very valid thing.
Yeah, like,
I don't blame people for being like, oh, you know what, my Iron Hands are the new hotness, so I'm gonna buy all the dreads and do all the stuff because they can't be killed. And then they nerf Iron Hands, and you're like, what? I can't play my things anymore? And FV. Hobby is not what really drives you at that point. It's very easy to just leave stuff gray. And if you're going to leave it gray, not spend any time trying to paint it because it may be not flavor of the week next month, then you probably don't even spend a whole lot of time building it. So I can't fault people for that.
And we got orange lightsabers. Yellow to orange. Next one. Murder Machine, let's go.
Murder Machine, you called her.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, Paint Liquor, because these are very complementary colors, right? Orange and blue.
Yeah, that looks really good.
Work very well together. I actually was gonna take a purple glaze to the majority of her dress, though. Turned it a little bit more towards that purple because I want to have her have red lightsabers. But this does look really cool. I, however, am picky and stupid and like canonical colors. So, especially for stuff like this. If it's like Warhammer 40k or Age of Sigmar, I don't care as much. But like for stuff like this where it's like I know this character because of like media specifically, it's hard for me to not paint it in its like traditional color scheme.
You think she only ever wore the same clothes?
Yep.
That's the thing that gets me, and one of the things I've always hated about stuff like that is that they're always in the same because they're trying to make them recognizable in a cartoon. But they wear different clothes.
You know who actually doesn't do that? Is Count Dooku.
He wears different clothes?
He does.
Well, then you can paint him all you want. Any color you want.
Any color I want. And I did. It looks great. Force clean is a power, yo.
Like, I think Darth Vader probably has, like, you know, his Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday outfits.
I mean, they're probably all exactly the same.
No, man. He has, like, one that's in, like, you know, a nice purple. He's got, like, a going out red.
He's probably got a nice,
he's got a good one that has, like,
pattern one. For
yeah, exactly. He's got, like, one that has, like, paisleys or floral on it, you know, for hanging out.
Beachside
going on
Vader.
dates.
Beachside Vader. Oh my gosh. He's got the little arm floaties and a Hawaiian shirt on.
Whoa. You're saying Vader needs floaties?
You darn right he does.
No.
He doesn't need floaties. He wears them because of the style.
Oh, I forgot floaties were a fashion choice
it's
now.
A fashion choice, yep. Mai Tai Vader.
See?
Sounds correct to me.
Like with like tiki. Got like a flowered Hawaiian shirt. His helmet is like a tiki mask.
How did the supports come off, by the way?
How did what?
How did the supports come off?
The what?
The supports come off of those pieces?
Okay. The only place I'm seeing them bad is on the spot where you don't care, which is this backside, right? It's got a lot of dimples back here.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter. The out here, there was some connection points here for some reason, and there's dimples there, but that'll just have to be battle damage. I'm not filling it.
Nope. Gonna fill it.
I called the guys and let them have it. I was like, take the damn sprues off before you send it to your customers.
Yeah, it's kind of unacceptable.
If I pay money for a finished product, I deserve to get a finished product, in my opinion.
Yeah, I should just be able to glue them on. There's no reason that I need to go back and remove supports from something like that.
Ooh, this one's pretty bad.
Not great.
It's got a lot more. They put a lot more supports on the front face on this.
Ugh.
And that's the problem, right? Is that they're like, oh, they're easy. They come off really easy. And I'm like, yeah, but they're cured. So now they are one piece with the substrate. Meaning that no matter what you do to warm them up, when you pop them off, they have a very good chance, very high likelihood of busting off the native plastic. That makes that a little rough.
Hello, Jacob.
A little rough.
Welcome. Jacob's not very excited about points.
Oh, they came out today.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at the Blood Angel stuff during lunch. Real quick like.
Real quick like.
Our Tyranids not looking good? What's the matter? What's the matter? Stuff's just too expensive? Yep. Does it feel like they're, and this is a question out for chat, Jacob is saying that Tyranids feel bad because they points went up, ability to do damage went down, but toughness is up across the board for most armies. So does anybody else that's paying attention to 10th edition right now feel like the game is intended to not be quite as killy so fast? Or do we feel like it's going to kill things quicker? Where do we feel like time to kill is sitting right now? Because looking at Blood Angels, things are fairly even across the board with regards to how points were for last edition. Yeah, some things went up, but not much. Most everything went down. All the characters went down considerably. The units that I'm using only went up by 5 points for the whole unit. 10 points for the whole unit, so like 1 point per model for a 10-man squad of Sanguinary Guard.
That's very...
Yeah, I don't even care. People are bitching about it, and I'm like, are you kidding me?
This seems great.
Like, they were pretty cheap already. They were like $420 last time for 10. Now they're $430.
Yeah, it's like a...
Don't even care. Because Dante went down like 30 points. So, ta-da.
What the heck?
Still net positive for me.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, I think the cost is really only in perspective to how the other armies' costing went, though, right? Because you can't look at your army and look at what points went up and down within yours and get salty.
Yeah.
You have to look at what everything else did, too. Because that's the grand balancing scheme for them. Or one of them, right? Rancid, what's going on?
Rancid, what's up?
How do you think the Scooby-Doo gang felt wearing the same clothes for 40 years, right? I don't know. I wouldn't take that job as a comic character where you just look the same every issue.
Like, can I really not get some different clothes here? You're saying something, Jacob?
So Hmm. Jacob's whining. For chat that can't hear him.
Yeah, I am.
All you have to know is that Jacob is whining. He's whining that his Tyranids are not good.
Well, as a caveat to this, there's a huge asterisk. They are the first, and they're one of the first armies to get a book. So, this all could change very fast into them being really busted.
I feel like somewhere there's a base for this guy. I just don't know.
Lightsaber. The lightsaber. No, Tim, I did not get a chance to check out the bands on the lineup.
We will remove this, extract this from its base. Source, what's going on?
All right.
They were excited to run full temp today. Nice.
Got our lightsaber chat. Fancy schmancy lightsaber.
Little Potter says Wraiths all day.
All right.
Wraiths. Wraith Knights? Wraith Guard? They're really cheap. Are they any good? There was a tournament that like banned Eldar. Was that why?
Wait, really? Yeah. Yeah, Eldar. Yeah.
There you go, Jacob. We have a full Eldar army in the case waiting for you. No?
In this Eldar army. What?
They banned Eldar weapons because of support, or they banned Eldar because of support weapons with D cannons. Are D weapons back? Like just take models off the table? Really? Farseer, you could do 8 mortal wounds within 24 inches guaranteed a turn. Holy crap.
That's a lot.
Did they change that?
I think that's new.
Well, okay then.
Well, alrighty then.
Broke the foot.
Oh. Different already then.
That's fine. Put him up there. I'm never going to use that model. That Dreadnought did nothing wrong and you debased it. That's not a Dreadnought. That was a Invictus Warsuit or whatever they call it. Garbage. Whatever they call that garbage. Garbage. Probably not. It's probably the infiltrate stuff is the scout rule for a tactical war suit is not bad.
Thinking about getting some Imperial Guard.
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
It just sounds like fun to paint.
Oh my god.
What? What's wrong with that?
Swarm armies.
I would do my best to not have it be as swarm as possible.
That was about a trip to the hospital. Aha! 3 toes!
Maybe that's just crazy talk. Yeah, you're probably right. That is probably just crazy talk.
Good God, man, what glue did this person use? Highly confuzzled.
Well, Jacob, I'm sorry to hear that your army is less powerful than you thought it might be.
He hadn't even played it. He doesn't know. He's just whinging. Same as the whole internet. Put the army on the table, play it. Then if it sucks, then I'll believe you. I do know it looks like I gained... Because there was just a points alteration not too long ago in 9th. And my Blood Angels gained about 150 points in that. Because there were some reductions made on units that people were using quite a bit of. So my list got, I think, like 150 or 200 points that it picked up. I think that in 10th edition, I picked up more than that, like maybe 250.
That's a lot of points.
Across the board. So
that is a lot of points.
Yeah, it gives you another unit, you know?
Yeah.
Another vehicle you could put on there or something like that.
How are the points looking for Chaos Chaos Knights? Good luck.
Little Potter points are hard to
Gosu.
judge because war gear weapon choices are all feed. They're going to stay that way, though, so why are they hard to look at?
What's up, Gosu?
They're doing the Age of Sigmar route. There's only a few things you get to add on per faction. Artificer armor for Space Marines is still a thing that you can add on. But it's like, I don't know, 20 points a squad or something like that. So I like that. If I'm reading it right, it looks like you can, you know, if you're stuck with an army with like 1,970 points, there's going to be something you can add to get you to 2,000. I don't know that they're any good, right? But oh, you're too lazy to check how many points war gear was compared to the base cost of the unit in 10th. Gotcha. All I did was look at my list that I had for 9th edition for Blood Angels and then cross-reference it to the total cost of the same units here, and I'm up like 250 points. That's all the war gear, right? So like Death Company Marines, 10 Death Company Marines with Thunderhammers and jump packs is now... Oh, geez. I think it winds up being 10 or 15 points difference. That one went up. Sanguinary Guard went up. So both of those together going up was like 25 points difference for those two. Like that's like two 20-man or two 10-man units. And but I saved all those points back just on Dante alone. So to me, it feels good. And I gotta after work today, I'll probably make the whole list and see if that holds true once I add all the other units and what I want to do and all that. But right now it seems good.
I mean, the other thing I could always do is just look at playing Black Legion. So some of those Chaos models are actually really, really cool.
Chaos Marines.
Yeah, they're pretty sweet. All right.
I am super surprised that we're seeing 10th come out this way and the story is Tyranids. It bums me out because I really, really thought after the Dan Abnett interview, all the stuff that's going on, that we were going to see the Beckwin series come to a close and we were going to get a big change that was revealed in how the game played and how everything was going in 10th. And instead, we get the same old, same old. Oh my god, bugs.
Oh my god, bugs. Ghost, you Baby Jerry, are you getting an army for 10th? Maybe. I don't know what I want to play yet. The world is my oyster, is said. There are many options to choose from. Not sure that I have a particular preference as of yet. I was considering doing some bugs because I thought the stuff out of the starter looked cool. But, I don't know. Gene Stealer Colts are always super cool, but that is a huge army as well, and I don't want to paint that much stuff.
I just mean for story. I don't care about the army. I'm not talking about that. I just mean for story, bugs are boring. Right? Mindless enemy is boring. Yeah. When they have such a good story happening right now with everything else, I would think, because we've been kind of spoiled, I guess, with 8th and 9th, right? Because we had the return of a Primarch in 8th, we had all the Primaris stuff and the Chaos incursions, and now they just did all the stuff with the Arcs of Omen and all of that, and then we lead in with 10th edition with all that build-up that doesn't include Tyranids. Now we have build-up, now we open up 10th and it's Tyranids.
Yeah.
Why?
Like, what happened to all the rest of the stuff that we've been doing?
What happened to the cool story we were reading? Little odd, but whatever.
I would have thought it would have been, like Dark Angels in the starter. That was my assumption. I was like, oh yeah, they're just gonna do Dark Angels. That's cool.
Yeah, especially with like the Terminators shown off and all that.
Yeah. Like, oh, this makes perfect sense.
Go with new Deathwing. Maybe actually let us buy the Lion model.
3?
That'd be nice.
Yeah. Dueling Lions would be cool. We haven't done a dueling stream in a while.
You've only been here a month.
I've been here for like 3.5. 3.5!
You've only been here a month.
Man.
Act like you live here or something.
Okay. I'm gonna go take a nap. It's nap time, chat. I live here. I'm gonna go sleep. Y'all can talk to Jason for a couple of hours. I'm gonna go ahead and take my nap.
Do you see what I deal with every day here? You see, chat? You see what I deal with? Mo says it seems much longer.
Oh, you don't know what you're talking about? Okay, maybe you do. Massage is pretty much done. Just gotta do the base. I done like it.
Ghosty says, I remember when Jason announced the arrival of Baby J. I was like, I hope this guy isn't a goofball like us. Oh boy, was I in for a surprise.
Yeah, I always thought it was really funny because every time he was talking to me about coming over, he's like, just gonna warn you, we're a bunch of goofballs. I'm like, you haven't met me in the office yet. Aw, thank you, Gosu.
Whatever he's saying, Baby J, he's not meaning it nice.
Oh, well, that's mean. That's just mean then.
You can barely remember a time before Baby J. He wears on you that hard?
Dang. And I did nice things for you today.
You got me a sandwich. Baby J was my hero for about a minute.
Wow. Cold-blooded.
You knew what was coming. You knew the hazards when you took the job.
Cold-blooded. What's a man got to do around here? Get a little bit of appreciation.
Jacob, you ever felt appreciated here? He says, I guess. Gosu says, stop, Jason, stop exposing my deceit. See, Baby J thinks I'm being mean to him, but what I'm really doing is protecting him from chat. And I can't be right either way.
Well, chat loves me. Gosu said it himself.
And I'm telling you that that's not a good thing.
I don't know.
I'm telling you that that's not what you're looking for.
I don't know.
Tough love, Source. Tough love.
Love in one hand, a dagger in the other. You guys are too much fun. What a Friday. Fridays are great.
It is Friday, my friend.
Yes, Jacob. It is, in fact, that day of the week.
They've been, to Jacob's credit, they have been so
That's
buried
true.
this week that remembering what day it is not top priority. Have Carter raise it up. No, I mean, it's too low for Christian, too. He just doesn't want to admit it. Brendan's in there. No, Brendan can't use it. He's like 8 feet tall.
Okay. Very nice.
I gotta figure out if there's any Blood Angels knickknacks we want to put on this guy. Probably.
Here's a question that's been rolling around in my head for 10th. Can you take free blades in an Imperial Knights army? I don't know what you're talking about, so I probably can't tell you the truth.
Free blades in an Imperial Knights army? We haven't seen like the books yet, right? We don't know a lot of the building particulars and such. But I would assume
What are free blades?
it's think of it like mercenary house knights.
Oh, cool.
If you're running an Imperial Knight list, why would you want to take free blades? Is there a benefit there? I guess I'm confused. I was under the impression that the free blades was kind of like what you took if you wanted to do an ally detachment. Right? You can take free blades if your army is Imperium. Gotcha. Other direction. No. Dang things are unidirectional. Blood Angels crap.
Faces.
I don't know if this model is good enough in combat to get like a banner.
Banner him up.
So this thing probably doesn't work that well. You don't want to put it on that. Maybe. Not horrible. Look how many banners I have. I have to make a sanguinary ancient banner, so that's what this one is.
You have so many.
Yeah, I bought an absolute crap ton. I don't remember why I have this guy. Maybe for a dreadnought?
Yeah. It's the main app.
It does not work currently. There is no app for building 10th edition yet. Yeah, there's no app for building 10th edition yet. They don't have one that has the points and everything. I think this is part of the Terminator squad.
Like a caveman. I had to do that for a long time with my silly dinosaur.
Oh, look at that. That sucks. The back of the banner pole is cut to put a hand in there.
Oh, that's...
Rat bastages.
You just sculpt it back up. Right?
This one has a hand on it. So
oh, that's even easier. Just carve it
this
off.
one's easier. I can carve the hand off, but it's that one's actually for the Sanguinary Guard. That's specific. That I want to use for the Sanguinary Guard. I feel like this one might put on him. Autumn?
For October.
Yeah, generally
Part of
September.
November.
Right? Autumn, technically, like September.
Yeah,
is it
sure.
August, September, October? I think is autumn. And
Yeah. Well, I think
no,
technically
because
like
June,
half
July, August is summer, right? Or is it May, June, July is summer? I don't remember.
I think it's
Here, everything's either summer or not summer.
yeah. I think technically it's like half of August, or it might be like September, October, and like half of, or the better part of November.
Come on, chat. We expect answers out of
Because
you.
I think winter is technically December, January, February, March. April, May is the beginning of spring.
Imperial Knights are Imperium, yes. They separated Chaos Knights out, so.
Yeah, September, October, November. Thank you, Jen.
Yeah, it makes it kind of odd to say that you can take free blades in a knight detachment as long as you're Imperium keyword, because Imperial Knights are always Imperium keyword, aren't they?
I would imagine so. The Imperial Knights part of it makes me think that that would always be the case.
Kind of a dead giveaway, right?
Yeah.
But there might be a way to run them that isn't. I just can't think of it. You're either traitor or not traitor.
There's not a whole lot of in between there.
December to January is the cold. The rest is hot. And there's May, August, which is hot as hell. So we would invite you to Arizona, where you can learn what hot is. Although Texas has humid and he's in Houston, so he does have a very good argument as to why it feels like the depths of hell where he lives. Because it's soggy and hot. Ugh. Ugh.
You go outside and you're swimming.
Oh, it's horrible. It's horrible. 5 showers a day. This will literally make this guy 8 inches tall if I do this. I don't think I'm ready to commit. I'm not ready to commit to that.
Walking outside today is like getting hit with a steamed towel. That never lets go.
This directional one would be really bitching if I had one for each side, because I put one on each of these swords would be kind of neat.
Can't you just take another one that has the full wings and cut the other wing off?
No, there's not the same wing. Right? I mean,
Well,
you're
that's
saying
a pretty
that if
standard,
I have...
Yeah, you may not be able to find the same exact thing, but you could find 2 of the same bit that has both of the wings on it, and then cut one wing from either side.
I have a bunch of Dark Angel stuff that have a bunch of wings on it. This thing has wings on both sides. That's a lot of effort, though. Then I gotta cut, like...
I don't think it's too bad. You
blood
basically
drops
just flip it
off.
up. Well, no,
Oh
you
my
would keep the blood
God.
drops on, right?
I have to cut the blood drops off of the other wings so that I can make them work. If I find a wing like this one I got. Like the top crest of another banner. It's the top crest of the banner for the Sanguinary Guard, though, so that kind of sucks to cut it off. Because it has the chalice. I don't want to ruin that one. Probably only have one of those. I have a bunch of the other ones. It really sucks that the wing is not sculpted on the back.
So you could just flip it?
Yeah, I could just cut the gemstone off and flip it around. Would be nice. That would be very nice.
Let's see here. So how did, or is the, wait, hold. Phoenix is asking an interesting question.
Interesting question.
Yeah.
We'll
But
have none of that.
It's kind of hard to understand.
We'll have none of that.
Okay. We'll just ignore it then. Sorry, Phoenix. Jason
We'll just ignore it then.
Yeah, Jason told me to ignore you.
I didn't say ignore it.
Yeah,
I said we'll have none of that.
Yeah, that means ignore it.
Oh. Well, that too.
Sorry, Phoenix. I tried. I brought it to his attention.
Very hard to be you today, Phoenix.
I'm trying over here.
How did or is the desecration of the walking casket? Huh? How did the desecration of the walking casket going or is it ongoing? These words make sense to you?
No.
Okay. So it's not just me?
No.
Hey, Phoenix, can you help us out a bit? I have no idea what you're talking about. I can assume you're talking about the Dreadnought. What am I having this? This is sanguinary guard bits. What do they got? Knives and pouches galore. None of that works. None of that helps me.
Jacob, where you go? I need you to help me figure out what 40k army that I want to play.
Oh, God. Squats!
Do I just play the not dwarfs?
Play squats. Artillery's cool. Damn you, Jacob.
Could also do Death Guard. It was some pretty sick models. You painted a bunch of it, right?
What, Death Guard?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a bunch here.
Is it cool?
Yeah. I hear a bunch of people bitching, but everybody's bitching about everything right now, so I don't know what to believe.
I mean, I'm not necessarily looking for an army that's like good. I just want something that'd be fun.
Somebody clip that.
To work on.
Somebody clip that, chat. I want to know the over-under right now on when Baby J goes from I'm not interested in whether or not an army is good to I have the most OP army ever.
Who is more likely in this office to do that, me or Jacob?
Ruben. Ruben, actually.
Fair. That's accurate.
Jacob is definitely a min-maxer.
Yeah.
But I mean,
that's his nature.
As soon as you play a long time, I think everybody is, right?
Yeah. I don't think that's a problem. For the record. I have no problem with people who are min-maxing because it's like I always say. People always get kind of weird about like, oh, this person's super competitive. It's like, okay, hold on. You can enjoy playing a well thought out and well like played and executed game of whatever miniatures game you're playing without you being a competitive, pain in the butt, right? You can still have a casual, high-level game. That's the way I like to play. Because, like, I'm not going to just, like, bring stupid garbage for no reason. Like, I'm going to try and, like, create a good list. But I'm also not going to get, like, bent out of shape if I lose. Because that's just silly. Because I'm here to have fun. Put some models on the table and go pew-pew.
Everyone has complaints about their own armies, but it almost sounds like the internet is in agreement about how dirty Death Guard were done.
Oh, really?
That's what it's looked like so far, yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
I think the big complaint that I've seen is that they took the personality away from the army.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Death Guard had some really neat, unique things going for it that made it different, and I think we've seen a little bit of vanilla-ing out armies here. It'll be interesting to see what winds up happening there.
I wonder if some of that will just come back as we get into new books coming out and stuff like that. Because I wouldn't be surprised if that were in fact the case.
Yeah, again, it's weird to me, right? There's part of me that's like, I really like the way that we have the free cards, and we can put together armies and play 10th edition, and everybody gets some points, and everybody gets some info, and nobody's really got. I mean, a lot of people are probably going to feel like they're underwhelming and got nerfed and whatever.
I feel like that's pretty consistent across the board, right? Like, I feel like a lot of people feel it.
Yeah, seems like it, but I mean, it's the internet. I never believe anything I hear.
Also true.
And I'm not going to play all the armies, nor do I have a history with all the armies to understand if people are like have a
goobers.
ground to stand on, you know, when they say how bad they got done.
I think people largely overreact. Kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely. People are the meme.
And sometimes they don't. In which case, bummer. Some cases, very big bummer. Alright, that's Asajj. She don't. That's a painted Asajj.
Like it.
Put her next to other Dark Jedi man.
Is Combat Patrol the equivalent of Warcry? No. I don't think so. I don't think. Is there an equivalent to Warcry in the 40k world? I don't feel like there is. Because Warcry plays completely differently. Kill Team, not really, right? Because Kill Team is kind of just a more granular version of 40k at team level. I mean, I guess you could say that. Kill Team's the closest. Warcry just has such a different, other than the models being the same, it's totally different from anything else going. Health levels are completely different. Damage potential is completely different.
Stonewall, how's it going?
Is the Dread conversion still going on? And if so, I'm not really converting much. I'm adding some bits and bobs to make it more Blood Angel-y. I think this was probably meant for like Black Templar or something. With the relic blade sword things on its chest. So I'm just throwing some Blood Angels doohickeys on here and calling it a day. I may put the banner on. I was going to lower the height of it. I think that's what we were talking about last. But after looking at it, doing it to a built one doesn't make any sense. I really need to do that with the model when it's in pieces. So if I... But I don't plan to do that. I don't plan... Unless this particular Dreadnought is just completely bitching on the battlefield, I don't plan to have any other ones. I might do a conversion where we take one of the new style dreads, the new Redemptors that has the close combat stuff, but I don't think we're going to see those models for a while. The one in the Leviathan box is build it one way, monopose.
Yeah, it's all push fit.
Yeah, push fit monopose stuff. So until we see the new one with the close combat arms, I would probably want to make one of those into a Death Company Dreadnought. The problem I have is that they still have the old base size on the regular dreads, and these dreads have huge bases, so that's a bad thing for you defensively. I don't know that it's super bad, but it just makes you easier to hit. Easier to get a lot of dudes around your base, so I don't know that I would want to proxy one of these. They got rid of Venerable Dreads. I didn't see them in the points listing anywhere. Because my list included a Venerable Dreadnought, not any of the Redemptor style ones. As for its points, the Venerable was like the best dread out there. And so I find that to be a large bummer. Stonewall, you ran across Pro Acryl paints on Amazon. Is it legit? That is us. We are the only seller of our paints on Amazon. We did that on purpose. We don't like selling on Amazon. If you're looking on Amazon, I will be very honest with you, you're better off buying from monumenthobbies.com because the shipping is generally less. Unless you have like an Amazon gift card or something like that. The shipping on Amazon, we can't control as much, so it seems to be more expensive most of the time. Plus, you don't get like the individual bundle deal for paints and things like that on Amazon. It's just straight up retail. So if you know about us and you know about our website, then go to the website. It's much easier, faster shipping than Amazon. Because we do all the shipping from here. So whether you order it from Amazon or on our store, it ships from us here. Period. So. We're glad you found it. And glad you found us over here. But yeah, we did that. We have to sell on Amazon to become part of their brand registry so that we can enforce other people not selling on Amazon. Seems silly, right? But that's the way that works. If you want to keep people from using your brand on Amazon, you have to be on Amazon and be part of their inner circle. This has also a thing on the front. I'm trying to get all the emblems figured out here, so let's go ahead and put this back in here for now. That's right, we have this area here that's kind of bland. We can put something on that. Now that I put all the dragons.
Go. Throw in the garbage.
Yeah.
I want them?
Huh?
You don't want them?
I'm never gonna play. You can take a look at all my.
Yeah. I mean, if I were to play anything Stormcast, it would be the dragons, because I think they're cool.
I have another box of those.
Then maybe I do.
There's like 6 of those guys, and
Okay. We'll talk later.
I'm over Age of Sigmar. I really want like a crotch banner. Sounds funny when you say it out loud.
I mean, you can make one of those. You can make one of those.
You prefer whichever one benefits us guys the most. You guys enjoying our paint is what benefits us, so don't worry about that so much. But thank you. Yeah, it really is whatever's more convenient for you that makes the biggest difference for us. So go for it, whatever you like. Nut curtains. The problem is I just have a bunch of these like shoulder emblems because I really wasn't intending on doing any dreadnoughts in this army because they're not assault, right?
Yeah.
My whole army is jump. I don't have vehicles really. I'm not taking bikes or anything like that. I'm all jump packs. So, but now I have extra points, so I can fit a dread in. So I'll put this dread because I really like the box dread. See, I didn't. It's funny because I had this idea. I don't know, not quite a year ago, but a long while ago, and so I bought all these bits to figure out how to make it work with the way I wanted the army to look. And now it's changing because of this whole 10th edition thing. These are all... Ooh, though, you know what? I have tons of Dark Angel wings that I'm not going to use for anything. But I don't have a ton of... See, the Dark Angel wings are too mechanical looking almost. I don't know that they would make for good Blood Angel wings.
Hey, somebody likes us.
Maybe.
Hi. Dark Vex Rao. Thank you for the follow.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Trying to figure out if there's anything else I can put. It'd be kind of cool to put something like over that gap, but all I have is like these little Blood Angel shield things. Aren't bad, but kind of don't really have a place there. It already has the wing thing.
Oh, got a question. Hello. Probably a stupid question. I can guarantee you it's
Never.
not.
No such thing.
I got several of the Pro Acryl sets because I loved using them at my buddy's house for hobby night. Does Tamiya thinner work with it with the alcohol? Or does it get angry and not play nice like with
So it's a water-based acrylic, so any alcohol-based thinners are probably not your best bet. Adding alcohol like IPA into our paints for thinning through airbrush can work, but it's not the thing that I recommend, right? You can, like anything, it's not going to kill anything, so you can try it and see how you like it. You may find that you get such fast dry time that it's not even worth playing with, so just be on the lookout for that. But yeah, the Tamiya thinner is really built for those Tamiya acrylic-based, or alcohol-based acrylics.
Yeah.
But definitely not a stupid question. That's a good one.
No, yeah. That's not a stupid question at all. There are no stupid questions here.
Big enough. Back online and see if I can find Blood Angels bits in big droves. I don't want to use this as a shield, so we're just going to cut the blood drop out. If I did Dark Angels or Wolves, you sent me a bunch of Dark Angel stuff, Mo. I think that was you, wasn't it? I think a lot of the Forge World crap I got, you sent. The emblems and stuff. Those old janky resin. I've already used a bunch of that on the Heresy Dark Angels. Playing out with your new airbrush, so I kind of just started grabbing stuff you heard mentioned in painting videos. Yeah, definitely. No, and there is some good usage to be had for mixing in, you know, different products that you might hear at first are not really built for one another. Don't ever be afraid. Just always test it on something other than the surface you're trying to make the final product. You know, I like to say there's no rules in art, but there are some things that don't play very well together. Water and alcohol, oil-based stuff and water. Like
Turns
enamel thinners and
oil and water, not so good friends.
nope. But they can still do some fun things because of not being very good friends.
Yes.
But it's very specific, crazy stuff you're looking to do at that point. Thing is about as finically small as I can imagine, so I don't know that this is actually going to work very well. Got the skull? No. I want it as a tier here. Hope it's right. Gonna dig out a little trough under the skull's eye that we can this tier to sit in. Why am I in this mode of doing finicky little crap?
I don't know.
Like I'm gonna,
That's a great question.
like I did it yesterday.
You did.
What am I doing? What am I doing, chat?
You're excited about finicky things.
Lightning yesterday.
That lightning turned out pretty sweet, though.
Not mad at it. Not mad at it. Alright, I'm gluing it in there. I don't care.
What are you going at?
Okay. This teeny weeny blood drop, I want it to be a tear coming out of this skull's eye
Oh.
on the front. Because the front is just the generic Imperium skull and wings, you know? That's no fun. I cut a little teardrop shaped tail trough in there, hoping that'll just kind of sit in there.
What's up, Delta? Stonewall. So I've heard people sing Forge World's praises, and I've heard do the opposite. Was their quality good, then diminished, or the other way around? Good, and then terrible, and then they're starting to get better. Slash still bad.
In an honest, the most honest way I can think of, Forge World was never good resin. They just happened to be the most exciting thing out when they first came out. There was nothing else like that, right? When Forge World first started releasing models, it was the stuff that was the big stuff that nobody had ever thought we would see in 40K.
Yeah.
Bane Blades, right? Warhounds, Imperial Vulture flyers, stuff like that. It wasn't necessarily about quality, I will say. At least not from like a consumer aspect. We were just like, holy crud. This is awesome.
It's also back before we knew enough to care as much.
Well, I think it was just, like I said, it was the cool stuff.
Yeah.
And you got it in resin and you were like kind of bummed. But the plastic, you got to remember, everything from GW was basically metal back then. So you were dealing with mainly metal miniatures and some plastics for troops, you know?
Yep.
Depending on what army you had, plastics were kind of your core infantry. And then everything else was just kind of garbage metal. So the resin didn't feel bad back then, I think is the way to say it.
Yeah.
Because you were already having to worry about, you know, how you built your model that was metal, and the hobby was kind of crazy, Wild West back then. So I don't know that there was a time where Forge World resin was ever good, because I had some of the original Forge World resin models.
Throw back my legs and pollute my britches with delight.
And they were absolutely nightmarish to have to build. There we go. Just had to dig a little bit of a trough in the thing there to make it look like it's actually part of that.
One model left of these 8 models. Don't really want to paint it right. Just got Kalani left. Not in the mood.
Ricky Suezo, thank you so much. What is going on?
I will say all the new molds for the new stuff that they've been releasing has been quite nice, from my experience. So generally speaking, if you're getting something that's new, you're probably in a pretty good spot.
What's going on with the Star Wars models? Why do the battle droid faces come in 19 parts?
Yeah. These droids, their heads are like 3 pieces.
Oh my god.
It's ridiculous.
That's horrible. I'm not laughing at you, I'm laughing with you.
Uh-huh.
I do not play that game, so I don't have to participate. But I know that I made a joke, right? And at the beginning, when Marvel Crisis Protocol came out, that they must have hired the weird guy that cut the sculpts to put on sprues. The guy that did Malifaux at Atomic Mass.
I mean, I can tell you exactly why they were so weird at the beginning.
and they because the models were like parting lines in really weird places.
Well, the reason why was because they had they brought over engineers from Privateer, and those engineers did not have experience doing engineering for
Plastics.
So there was an adjustment period while everybody figured out how the heck to do plastics, because if anybody's ever looked into any of that, there is zero tolerances on
Well, somebody at Privateer
plastics.
done plastics because all of the behemoths and stuff that were done in plastics.
That stuff was all done by one person, and they went to China to talk to all the mold makers. They had China do it, basically.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Those were horrible too.
Yes.
Because that's what it felt like. It just felt like somebody that didn't know what they were doing, or China that didn't care about quality of not quality as overall quality, but quality of assembly.
Yeah.
Because quality of assembly for sprues is something that literally is almost inherent strictly to us as modelers. I can't think of anything else you get on sprue, because like everything's molded on sprue. From the plastic face of your AV receiver and your TV stuff is molded on sprue. But, you know, it doesn't have the delicate nature of having to go together and fit the way our stuff does, so. I need to have that hinge for the time being too, huh? It'd be hard to paint all that crap in there. Not. I care. Probably don't care. I don't care. I've decided. Building Storm was such a nightmare, I almost glued the sprue to the base.
I actually managed to get a nice little trick for Storm that made her stay very...
He's very springy.
Yeah, you can kind of like bend a couple of the pieces together and glue them together, and it still looks like it's like really like lightning.
Uh-huh.
But it adds a ton of extra support.
Makes it like a tripod base instead of just a thing.
Yeah. That's what I do with mine, and I have no problems.
I think Wanda was kind of the same way. She's kind of like...
Wanda was crazy, yeah.
Is Forge World owned by GW? Our belief is that yes. Now, the story that I knew from working at GW internally is that Forge World was one of the original members of the GW crew that started Games Workshop, but wanted to do other things, and so went off, but GW still had a holding on it, but it kind of did its own thing. It seems like a lot of that has been reeled in, so I have no idea anymore what Forge World is business-wise. A lot of things that they couldn't used to do, or used to not be able to do, I guess is the way to say that, with plastics are now much easier, so you see a lot of things, you know, coming straight out to plastic sprue as opposed to going to Forge World first. You know, they're moving a lot of the heresy stuff direct to plastic now. And so Forge World's removing a lot of stuff from their site. So it makes me wonder, like, what are we ultimately going to have Forge World be?
We're going back to plastic miniatures. Or to metal miniatures, everyone.
Metal miniatures? No, please. Please, no. Please, no. God, no. Make it stop. I don't know that I want to leave these. I kind of don't want to leave these loose. I have other dreads. I don't want to glue them on and just paint the guy.
Do it. I'll even turn on the airbrush for you. Presser.
Well, it's almost 2. So I don't know that there's time to do anything
I guess
today.
that makes sense.
I think this guy just gets to be this dread. He doesn't ever get the other arms and stuff anymore. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. I don't play these games. I don't play these games. Caucasian skin recipe, please. Baby J?
Yeah. I mean, mine's gonna be very different than Jason's, but I like going with shadow, or well, I would start with Shadow Flesh. Give it a wash with Flesh Wash, and then bring it back up with Shadow Flesh, and then I would highlight with some more. You can either go the tan route, or you can go the warm flesh route. And I would mix these in varying amounts with your Shadow Flesh to build gradients. And then what I like to do after that is I like to put a little bit of a glaze of some like warm browns or some like greenish colors into the shadowed areas of the skin, the temples, the hollows of the cheeks, that sort of thing. Is the way I would go. That's kind of a pretty easy way to do it. I would show you, but I don't have a dude with a face.
Yeah, the dark flesh, shadow flesh, tan flesh is really nice. We do that a lot just for showing people real quick how you can go. This one I left darker, more of the dark flesh showing through, dark flesh into shadow flesh, less of the tan flesh, so that you get a darker feel for the skin. But if you were to expand your vision of the shadow flesh and tan flesh, then the skin can become as pale as you'd like it to be. So there's all sorts of ways to utilize those same colors and extend it. There's a really good video that I did up on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, !YouTube in chat, that talks about layering and blending for skin. And it uses that color range and shows you how to move it from darker to lighter and midtones. So I would recommend going and checking it out.
I would also recommend going and checking it out.
I think that works. I get 1, 2, 3. Once this thing's on there, 3 blood angel-y looking things on there because I made the skull cry a tear, so that helps.
You're gonna keep all the on there?
I changed them. I edited them so they have the wings and the teardrop on them. So they have blood angels emblems on the hilt, and then I've got the skull crying a tear. So now he's got blood angel stuff all over the front. So I think that works. He's got 2 power swords on the front, just in case. These are for his bros. He's a weapon carrier. So when the assault guys come swooping over the top, they grab the power swords out of the front of him, right? He charges in first, and then they come in, bringing up the rear, so to speak.
Like that Dreadnought's rear.
Dante Lightning.
Lightning Dante.
Look at that. These guys are big. Like, yeah, but it's stupid. Like when you really get it, it's like, yeah, that's pretty stupid.
They're big guys.
That's pretty stupid, but it feels so much better than the old little ones. Now they just need to do a lot more damage on the table.
I mean, here, compared to this Contemptor, how big the other one is, they're freaking huge.
Yeah, well, the Redemptor's more along the lines of the Leviathan dread,
yeah.
right? Is that what it's called?
I guess that's right. Yeah,
the Leviathan dread. Because yeah, as a Contemptor dread, the Contemptor's nice and bulky. I do like the Contemptor body quite a bit. But yeah, this thing's like just a huge ass weapon splat.
Yep.
It just needs to be better. it just needs to be better. Plastic Titans win. Oh my god. I think they just took we have the Plastic Knights, obviously. They just took all the resin Knights out of 40K, right?
There is actually a Plastic Titan, I think, right now.
No.
Yeah, they're doing the Castigator in plastic.
That's still a Knight. That's just a little
yeah,
bit
that's
bigger than
true.
the standard Knights.
That's true. You're right.
The Knight Atropos and
I
those
forgot about
guys
that.
are bigger, but they are doing one of them in plastic because they're moving those guys
that's
off
true.
Forge
That's
World for Horus Heresy. And so they're doing a platform for that in plastic that I think will be able to be a Lancer and a Castigator.
Yeah.
Right? So, but I don't know that we're going to see a Warhound anytime soon. They just don't have viability in the game, so I don't know that spending for plastic molds would make a lot of sense. I would be down, don't get me wrong, but
it's gonna be a cool kit.
Yeah, I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I didn't think about the fact that those were not actually technically Titans. Man, plastic Titans would be huge.
Goes through the Dark Angels Dread. You did always get your frisky. Painting the Punisher and you hate painting skin. Watch that video. That I think it'll get you more into the. I just, as a matter of fact, had somebody contact me this week who had been on the stream and asked that same question, and we sent them over to the vid, and then they showed me the practice models they were doing, and we're having a blast with it, and really doing a much better job. Skin is something that is tough to get a hang of because a lot of it is just fear and keeping your paint thin. What I described the other day on stream that is a big help for most people is figuring out the kind of low-hanging fruit, we'll call it, of the fact that you have such a small area you're dealing with in 28 to 32 millimeter models for a face, you know, especially when doing Space Marines, not a lot of skin. You got a face, or like the Punisher, you got a face, you know, maybe some arms, forearms, but you don't have a lot of area to paint. And so you really need to make sure that your paint is nice and smooth, which means a little bit more moisture on your brush. Don't load lots of water into the paint on the palette, but a little bit more moisture on your brush. And don't worry so much if each layer is opaque, right? A lot of times when we're painting like armor on this Dreadnought, if you do a brush stroke and you don't get, like in my case, I'm going to paint in red. If you don't get it red and the red is kind of see-through, you go over it again and again until the red is opaque, right? You don't want to do that with skin because you don't want to build up, you don't have enough room to build up that much paint. So lay down a coverage of whatever color, shadow, flesh, dark flesh, whatever, and don't worry if you can see your base layer through, because the one thing with skin is you're always going to put another color on top of every area pretty much, right? You're going to go back with a layer of shadow flesh over your dark flesh, and that first layer is going to be less opaque, and that's fine. And then you're going to start moving your opacity towards like the cheeks and the forehead and things like that. So once you start learning that and you stop going for opacity in small areas and that let your layers blend themselves, you'll wind up with your skin being 100 times better just right off the bat, even if you're only using like 2 or 3 colors. You don't got to get all fancy. Then, like everything else, you'll start gaining confidence, and then you can start getting fancy and like doing, you know, magenta for a little bit of flush in the cheeks and things like that, depending on the model.
Getting fancy with it.
Any tips for painting eyes? It's a little black dot that I always seem to mess up. Your models either look cross-eyed or in shock. Here, I'll show you something very easy that you can do. Great way to end the stream.
Hold your breath too.
So let's, do I have a model we can do it on, or do I just want to do it on my hand? This guy has eyes. So let's paint this guy.
You want to go to solo?
So, yeah, I can.
Probably good for clippage.
One painter main. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Boom. Yep. If we do this, right? Because I've base coated his face, but your best way to do eyes is to do them first. Number one. Okay. So let's go in with tan flesh. Actually, let's do olive flesh on him. Lowest. Ivory. Bright ivory. Oh, not olive flesh. Huge fan of the no eyeballs technique. Like, just don't paint eyes. Eyes give a lot of personality to a face, though, right? That's the truth in dealing with real humans and also for miniature. But it is a very frustrating thing to have to paint, right? So it's one of the few things where I'll bust out smaller brushes, right? Never use white except for like the very, very final blast of color. But I'm gonna show you how you can do it and be messy about it, right? So this guy's got his eyes there, and let's just go in and let's assume that, you know, we're gonna go to a brighter flesh tone. So use olive flesh in this case. Right. And the nice thing about doing it this way is, like I said, just be messy. Well, you don't have to intentionally be messy, but you don't have to worry about being messy. God, this glass of water I had to get. I guess I could be using that to clean things now. It's been microwaved. All the impurities are out of it.
Pour back in it.
That could be too. Right. Ta-da! Eyes. There you go. Done. See you later. Kidding, joking. Please. I prefer black-brown for my eyes over just black. So I'll use black-brown. Black-brown. Oh, zoomed. Painting pupils is something that I don't normally get into, you know, versus like iris and pupil. I don't really care to do that until the scale grows. So for something like this guy's size, even though he's like 50 millimeter, I'm not going to worry about it. You're just going to do one color, right?
You get into 75, you get into 90, then you can start worrying about
Yeah,
irises.
75 mil, sometimes eyes will let you give enough leeway to where you can feel good about going in and doing the iris, right? But here, let's just say we want to look him dead on towards us, right? So we want to paint a vertical line through the eye. And match that vertical line over on the other eye. And right now it looks like meme model, right? That Space Marine. Or the paint me like one of your miniatures. I'm gonna make sure that you get the all the way down. Okay. That one over on the right, because of the shape of the model, got a little out of hand, so you can come back in and dot. Straighten up your line where you need to. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Now, if you want to do eyes that are looking in a direction, you said like up or down. Let's do up, right? If you want to do eyes that are looking up, then you want to take a little swipe of your olive flesh and just get rid of the bottom of the line.
You're a little off the camera.
Oh, sorry. Right. Just want to give a little swipe along the bottom there. If you want to make him looking down, do this up at the top of the eye. Right, but this again is all just very rough. Nobody cares. Floppy. No big deal. Okay. Then we take a little bit of brown and or flesh wash, depending on what you want to do. I got flesh wash sitting here, so we'll use that. Thin it way down, just get a lot of water on your brush. Dump it in there. It's not pooling up there in the nose. You all right over there?
I got a bit of a headache.
When do your folks get in?
3:30 is when they're supposed to arrive.
All right. Oops. All right. So now we get our skin tone. So let's take some shadow flesh. And I'm still using I'm using a 00 brush here, but whatever you're comfortable with. Use a number 3 if you got a good enough point on it, right? Then I go in and I start painting my face, right? Now that I've got that eye set in there.
You're still a little low.
And all that. And it is much easier to get your eyes done this way because now your eye shape starts to take form just by you painting around the outside of it, as opposed to trying to shape an eye internally on the model, right, after you painted the face. The hardest part about doing this is remembering to do your eyes first. 100%.
Songer. Okay, I'll have to give that a shot tonight. Thanks.
Enough color on here to where we don't make it look like raccoon mask, right? But just very quickly, you can see how you can create eyes without too much struggle, even when going fast like I am.
Yeah, it's definitely not too hard to do that this way, and then you can being able to just like cut back the eyes once you so much freedom on getting exactly the right eye shape for you.
Yeah, because you don't have to worry about any of that crap as far as it goes with.
You don't have to worry about overlapping stuff that you've already painted on the face and stuff.
Nothing at all. Because the hardest thing is when we have to go in and paint recesses after we've painted the surrounding area. That's true of the whole model, but never more so than when trying to paint and trying to sneak in tiny details under a brow, the pinch of the nose, all that kind of stuff, and all of a sudden, right? So then we come in and we just kind of continue to build up however you're going to do for the color of your skin. And just leave that darker skin tone in closer to the eye, and that gets your shadows built up and all that. So go as bright as you want to. You don't have to change the way you do this. So on and so forth.
Delta, I have no idea. The rules should already be announced. Should be free for everybody right now.
What's that?
Salamander's rules in 40K. Do you think Salamanders will eventually get their chapter stuff back in?
Yeah, I just don't think there's any chapter specific stuff other than unit lists and points right now, right?
Pretty much.
But none of the way things play is even on the.
There are some small.
I guess it's all built into the unit cards, though, right? It's so much more Age of Sigmar than anything.
There are army rules for the other faction or the other legions.
Well, like for Blood Angels, all you get is your faction ability.
Yeah, that's what
and your unit lists. You don't get any specifics, like if they're gonna have things that are specific to your army for thematic for when you're playing scenarios and stuff, right? There's just nothing. I guess it's all built into the units.
Only some chapters got their own special things. Dark Angels, Death Guard, Black Templars, and Blood Angels.
Yeah, the reference stuff was on Tuesday or whenever.
Then I have no idea. Hopefully, that'd be cool.
Eyebrows give you a lot of problem. Eyebrows you got to paint at the end, and you got to have a steady hand.
Yeah, I have problems with eyebrows sometimes.
Yeah, not every model looks like it's sculpted to handle eyebrows. Some you get lucky and they have eyebrows on them. I don't know if his does.
Yeah, sometimes you get ones where they're like, ooh, they do this like big, huge loop, and you're just like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I don't know if he. I mean, he's got big chunky
Bro,
ridges on his eyes, so you could go in and do that. But I don't know that I would even try because it kind of doesn't have a spot, and then you'd wind up with that whole ridge looking like it's. You just want reroll wounds with flame weapons?
I don't think she has eyebrows. Like, I actually don't think she has eyebrows. No, she does not. Does, they're very faint.
And I'm forgetting, I threw this thing back over there because we started talking about something else. But the last thing you do once you get the skin on there is you throw either a black or brown wash on it again to get the shadow around the eye. And that's going to all depend on how you've decided to highlight the eye. But you want to come in and do a... Where's my eyeballs? My real eyeballs. But you're gonna want to come in and just kind of briefly touch wash in there. So soak a bunch of it out. Give some life back to them. I wouldn't do that with too much color. Again, I'm not trying to go in and do anything where you get, colored irises this way. This is just a way to do eyes at 28 millimeter. Space Marines, things like that. Once you start getting up larger in scale, then you start doing eyes. I mean, I don't have anything that we've done eyes on larger scale here. Shinobis are demon eyes. But like you start getting into spots where you're doing like 75 millimeter eyes, and now you can start separating the color out of the iris. You can start doing shine. You can start doing shadow on top of the sclera, so the eye can start looking more like a real eye at scale. But at this scale, trying to do that doesn't make a ton of sense. But the eyes still give the model life by having shadow and a little bit of brightness. But like I said, don't ever use white. Use darker skin tones, grays, things like that for the actual color of the sclera, as opposed to trying to punch in a bunch of white because it starts getting way too much. Blue-white, a little bit bright. I would prefer to use, if you want something that's in that kind of neutral tone or cool tone, like bright neutral gray can work okay if you put like a brown wash in at the end. Right? Because remember, there's a lot more pinkishness to your eyes than anything. But again, you start worrying about that at that scale, and you're going to start getting really weird look.
I like using warm flesh a lot.
Yeah, that's why I like using flesh tones. Warm flesh, tan flesh.
Use pale yellow too.
Pale yellow can make them look sick.
A little bright.
Be careful when using yellows because it makes the model look sick if the eyes are yellow. That's the only thing I would say there.
If you're going to do like pale yellow, I would do like flesh wash.
Yeah, you need a pink. You need a red back.
Which helps bring it back.
All right, gang. We're done.
We're done.
2:15.
We made it. We've seen.
Thanks for hanging out with us today.
It's been fun.
We've
oh my gosh.
I've had 2 days of, well, I'd say I've had 2 days of not really accomplishing much, but I think the lightning yesterday.
A lot. Yeah.
I think the lightning yesterday was actually pretty good. I'm not done with the paint on it, but I'm very happy with how it turned out. And that really is kind of the final step I was hoping to do on the model. This is really nothing. This is just trying to get a model that I'm happy with by saving an eBay model. An eBay model and $19 worth of 3D printed bits to get it. So I might have $30 in this guy, all total. I think I paid $20-something, $25 maybe. So maybe $40 in him. So I can't complain. About a $40 dreadnought. And he's cleaned up okay. His stance is a little awkward. I'll have to build the ground up around him, but it looks like he's kind of lunging forward to shoot somebody, so I'm alright with that. It's alright.
Alright, you guys.
And you're almost done, damn it.
Yeah.
Like, you can now play a fully painted game, pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah. Just Kalani. Everything else is done.
And you painted him in like 15 minutes.
Who? Kalani?
The Kalani.
I mean, he's not done.
That's done enough for that silly game. But that's a character?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's correct.
Just somebody I don't know. But thanks as always for hanging out, watching some paint and glue dry with us today. I didn't even, well, other than painting that eye, I didn't do nothing. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't worry, we'll get you painting next week.
Yeah, and Baby J has absolutely slaughtered his Shatterpoint army.
I'm enjoying it.
He's going to play him, hate him, and then want to do a whole nother couple lists.
I mean, I have a lot of other models.
Oh, no. No.
I have...
No.
So I have another 4 dark side models to do. So I have Maul plus all the Maul DeLoreans. And then I have all the good guy stuff to do. So it's Obi-Wan plus dudes, Anakin plus dudes, and
Anakin's not a good guy. Was he, though?
He was.
Was he? Was he, though?
He was once.
Was he, though?
A good man.
Have a great weekend. Stick around.
See
We're
you
going to find
guys.
somebody to raid. Make sure to follow the links that Jen threw up in the chat there, the Discord, the store, and the FLGS. Go buy all the things. Have a wonderful rest of your day as well, and we will catch you back here on the flip side on Monday, noon again. All right?
Flip
Talk
side.
to you later. Have a great weekend. We'll see you again.
See ya.